Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 22 defensive tips video breakdown, I want to take a look at get consistent pressure from the right end. And what this video breakdown is all about is getting that type of pressure from the right end where it's consistent against the left tackle, against pretty much most of the gun formations in the game. And now there's a particular formation on the defensive side of the ball that I like to run it from, that I feel like I get it more consistently than others. But there are a few other defensive formations you can run this from and get that same pressure I'm about to show. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and show you that formation, and then also want to talk about as far as what subs you might have to make to get that pressure. So as far as on the defensive side of the ball, the formation that we're going to run this from happens to be the quarter normal. This is the formation that I feel most comfortable with this, so that's the one I want to show in the video breakdown. However, there are some other formations that you can get this type of pressure, and maybe down the road I'll kind of show those formations as well, at least to give another breakdown or two with this particular, what I'm about to show as far as this defensive tip. Now, from the offensive side of the ball, I already mentioned that you pretty much can get this against any of the gun formations. So with that said, we're going to run this out of the gun spread. All right, before we do that, I do want to go into here, and this is kind of a key thing that I want to point out. And what you're going to want to do is make sure that you have a fast defensive end or linebacker lined up at the right end position. In this case, it's going to be this Davenport guy. And what he has is an 85 speed rating. He's not an elite by any stretch of the imagination as far as a right ends are concerned. He doesn't have any kind of special abilities or anything like that, but he does have that speed, and that's the main thing that I want to focus in on here with this breakdown. So with that said, let's go ahead and get back on the field. And the defensive formation that I'm going to use, as I already mentioned, is a quarter normal. And the play that I want to showcase for this particular video breakdown is this one, which is the man up 3 deep. Now keep in mind, you can use other plays from this particular formation, get to kind of use the same what I'm about to show as far as the adjustments, and you can still get that same type of pressure. From the offensive side of the ball, we're going to use, as I mentioned, the gun spread. We're going to use the Bucks corner if you're following along. Now keep in mind the running back's going out, but I'm going to show it here later in the video breakdown where he stays in the pass block and you can still get that pressure. So let's go ahead and get on the field here and take a look at this. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm not going to make any adjustments at all. Really all I want to do is just go ahead and focus in on this guy right here. This is the guy I'm in control of. What I want to show you is what happens without doing anything at all, and then we'll kind of walk you through as far as what's going to go on here. So right there, you can see right there, he gets blocked, doesn't get any pressure on the quarterback, and just Tom Brady's got all day to sit in the pocket and destroy it. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw that away or throw it to a receiver. If he catches it, great. So as you saw right there, we didn't get any pressure. It took forever. He had all day to throw it. The quarterback had all day to throw it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the setup, and I'm going to walk you guys through how to make this work for you. So you can do this one or two different ways. You can either go ahead and press this button right here, which is the RB button, or the R1 button. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and pinch the defense. So you want to press down on the left stick. You can also do it this way. I'm going to show you here. You can also go ahead and press left on the D-pad, and then you can go ahead and shift down, and then you'll get the pinch here. It'll be the same results. The only difference is that this defender right here, which is the safety here, he won't line up in the box or down near the line of scrimmage. Instead, he'll line up somewhere up here if you do that, as far as with the defensive line, and if you just use the regular defensive line shift as far as the pinch goes. Keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and pinch the defensive line. This is basically with the shift defense. And again, you can see, as I mentioned earlier, you have this guy lined up here, and then you'll have these guys kind of come a little bit closer in the line of scrimmage as far as the defensive backs. All right, I'm not going to do anything else at all at this point. I want you guys to watch what happens, and we'll keep going with it, and I'll show you how this is going to all play out here in just a bit. So just be patient with me, and you guys will see how everything works out as we do this. Again, we don't get any pressure on the quarterback. We're not getting that outside leverage that I'm looking for. Brady has all day to throw the ball. So let's go on to the next thing here and make another adjustment. And this is when I lab. This is how I lab, exactly like I'm showing. I kind of just keep adding things to it to see what happens and to see if I can get that pressure. All right, this time I'm going to move him in one notch to the inside. And if you look at it, this time he's lined up across from the left guard. I'm not going to make any other adjustments. I'm going to go ahead and run it. Again, this time we end up getting double blocked. As you look at it here, let's just go ahead and show this. we're getting double blocked by two offensive linemen, the left tackle and the left guard. That's not good. We don't want that to happen. So how do we prevent that from happening? Let's go ahead and continue on with this. And the reason I'm showing you all this, again, this is how I lab and how I figure out things. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to slide him in one notch to the right. He's lined up across from the left tackle. This time, I'm going to go ahead and put him in a hard flat. Now, what's going to happen is he's supposed to go out this direction. So as far as the offensive linemen are concerned, once the ball snapped, he's not a threat, at least initially. Now, I want you guys to focus in on this, which is going to be the left tackle. You're going to find that he's going to go inside a little bit and up to the right towards him. Now, that's the key here, because that's going to allow me to get the outside leverage that I'm looking to get. Also, this guy right here, which is the, if you remember right, the left guard blocked me earlier when I did this. That's not going to happen this time. So what I'm going to do, now what I recommend, you can do one or two different ways here. You can hold down both triggers if you feel comfortable that way, or you can just hold down the right trigger. Definitely hold down the right trigger, which is the speed button. You definitely want to hold that one down. I'm going to go ahead and hold both. And I want you guys to watch what happens when I snap the ball here. And then the other thing I want to tell you is I'm not going to use anything as far as like swim moves or anything like that, bull rush. I'm just going to basically just be in control of them, but I'm not going to try to do anything too funky here. I'm just looking to get to the outside here, and then I'm going to get that pressure. And as long as I get that outside leverage, then I'm pretty consistent at getting in there. Now, every once in a while, I'm going to get blocked. I can't tell you I'm going to get this every single time, but I can certainly get in here and get that outside leverage and get to that quarterback. And it's pretty consistent this way, because you're looking at it. Let's go back and zoom in on this real quick. Actually, let's go in instant replay, and you'll see what I was talking about earlier. A couple things I just mentioned earlier, that this guy, again, you're going to watch, he's going to go to the inside. And then the other thing that's going to happen is this left guard isn't going to block me at all. So there's how I get that in. That's how I get that leverage. See how I get that leverage? If you zoom in on, if we go over here and do this, I'm sorry about all this moving around here. See how he goes to the inside? That's the key right there. Once he goes to the inside, that allows me to get that outside leverage. Now I might be taking a little bit of a wider angle than I need to, but it certainly allows me to get to that. What I'm looking for is getting that outside leverage. So that's the key to this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him back to the inside one notch. Go ahead and put him in the flat. And then I'm just going to allow him to go right around there and get that pressure again. So that's pretty consistent. You know, I'm showing you guys 3 times. I got the same pressure. All right, now what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and leave the running back in the pass block. So as you look at it now, you can look on your screen here. I'll just zoom in again. You can see the running back staying in the pass block. All right. I also want you guys to focus in on this. I talked about this earlier. This time I'm just going to go ahead and pinch the defensive line. You notice now where that safety's lined up at? He's lined up there. So if you decide to go this route, let me go ahead and do it here on the screen here. Oops, wrong controller there. But what you want to do is you want to go ahead and do this one more time. Go ahead and pinch the defensive line. Actually, that time he actually come down on that time. A lot of times, there he goes. He goes back up. So a lot of times he will not stay down, and usually he stays up there whenever you just pinch the defensive line versus shift the defensive line, if that makes sense to you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring him like this. Go ahead and put him in the flat. And then remember, the running back staying in the pass block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run this, and I just want you guys to watch how this works. Again, I get that outside release, and I still got to the quarterback. Even though the halfback was able to come over and try to block me, I still got in despite the halfback staying in the pass block. Let's go and do the same thing again with the running back. We're going to go ahead and put that guy on the flat, slide him in one notch. That's key. He's got to be slide in one notch where he lines up across from the left guard. I'm going to go ahead and hold down the trigger. Now I'm going to go right after the quarterback. That time I actually got blocked, but I still got to the quarterback. So that's the key right there as far as getting the pressure on the quarterback, is that you got to you follow these steps, you practice around with a little bit. You should be able to get that pressure pretty consistent. Let's do one last thing and throw one last thing in here. I don't know why you might want to do this, but you can. So for example, this is Jordan. Now he is an elite pass rusher, right? If you wanted to, you could put him in QB spy, which I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the setup I showed you and move him into this. That's if you decide to do this. This is just something I want to show you. This is only a 2-man pass rush. If you really look at it, let's go look at the screen here and zoom in again. really it's just technically it's just a one-man pass rush, at least initially. The only guy on the screen that actually looks like he's rushing the quarterback is the nose tackle. This guy right here, he's in QB spy. This guy, the other guy I'm in control of, he's playing the flat. Now keep in mind the running back's going out this time, so I want to point that out to you. But watch what happens. We still get pressure on the quarterback. So you only got a two-man pass rush, and you consistently get pressure on the quarterback. So that's the key to that. So that's really it on that. As far as that, I just wanted to point this out to you. You can get some pressure. Now, let me show you one last thing what will happen. If this happens to you, and this might happen because, like I said, every once in a while you might get blocked and something might not work out the way you want it. So I'm just going to make this happen where I get myself blocked. I'm just going to get myself blocked this time. I just want to show you guys what will happen here. So say I get blocked. Well, what you can do then, just call it off. Just go ahead and drop him back over the short middle of the field and watch. If you can't get past that guy quickly, then you're going to use this guy just as a defender to help defend the coverages. That's probably the best thing you can do rather than just trying to work your way around him and all that. Just drop him back and take away something underneath to make it more difficult on the quarterback from throwing it. Especially if it's a non-mobile quarterback, then you can just kind of just watch over the short middle of the field. If it's a fast quarterback that likes to take, your opponent likes to take off and run, then you can just spy the guy and then try to make a tackle if he tries to take off and run with the quarterback. Hopefully your defense will hold up and maybe one of those other two linemen will get pressure on the quarterback eventually. So that's it on that. Now, what I want to do is I talked about earlier, this can work against some of the other gun formations, pretty much all the gun formations in the game. So let's get out of here and run another gun formation. Let's do the most popular gun formations of all the ones in the game pretty much, or one of the most popular ones, just so I can show it to you. We're just running the bunch strong here. Let's just go ahead and send everybody out. We'll run the wide trail. And then I'm just going to go ahead and run this man up three deep, do the same setup I've been showing. He's in the hard flat. I'm going to go ahead and bring him to the inside. I'm going to go ahead and hold down the trigger. And then I'm going to get that consistent outside pass rush that I just showed you. So this is against the bunch formation. Same thing happens, same results. Now, the last thing before I go, I just talked about you could use this particular play. What about another play in here? Say you want to run the cover 4 drop. Let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to run this, and then I'm going to run this against the same play I just showed, the wide trail, same setup. You're going to go ahead and do this, bring him in one notch, and then go ahead and put him in the flat. Hold down the trigger. And then you're going to get that same pressure. Actually, that time I got blocked. But I actually used the swim move. When I did get blocked, that allowed me to get in. Now, I don't recommend using the swim move on that all that much on here. But if you so choose, that's your choice. I just use it because I knew I got locked there. I should have just dropped them back. And then I'm going to get that same pressure. All right. So same pressure, different play, same formation. So at any rate, that's really it as far as with this. Now, what I want to tell you is finally on this whole breakdown that I've been going through with this whole setup is that there's some other things you can do that's you can change some things up. You can add another pass rusher in here. There's another blitz in here that I want to show later in another video breakdown that's going to give me double edge pressure that you can run from this. That's pretty effective where you can be in control of the right end, and then you're always pretty much going to get consistent pressure from the other side of the field as well. We'll talk about that in another video breakdown shortly. Probably be that play I'll show will be up here in the next next couple days. And I want to show you some other things you can do with coverages as well. So a lot of things you can do with this formation and do what I'm showing you here. That's going to allow everything to mesh together, and it's going to allow you to to get some pressure from this particular defense or formation, and give your opponent some different looks, especially if they're a player that likes to throw the ball a lot. So that's really what I wanted to point out with this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video breakdown. I'll do some more of this later this week, or actually this is the end of the week. So throughout the weekend and early into the next week, I'll be really spending quite a bit of time here in the nickel normal formation and kind of showing you guys some different things you can do with this formation that's going to allow you to get some pressure on the quarterback, plus throw your opponent off a little bit as well. So again, thanks for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please subscribe. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. If you guys got a comment, I always enjoyed reading some of you guys' comments. That's always nice to hear. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.